Okay. Boy, the compressor or the fan doesn't want to start. So we'll start by checking what do we have. We have a disconnect. Simple enough. But we don't have any air conditioning. The furnace inside is running. So we'll open this guy up and start taking a peek. I bet we got a bad capacitor. We'll take a look. First thing I'm going to do, yep, there's a try. Okay, so let's pull the power here. I think we got a bad capacitor. Or maybe some mice. It's a popular time of year for the mice to come around, chew wires. Oh yeah, look at that one. Okay, so I have another video. We'll bounce back and forth between the two, but you can see this is domed up here, expanded in all kinds of different directions, and this should be flat. This shouldn't be domed up. So we definitely got a bad capacitor. So he really rounded out, or somebody put that. I think this has been changed once before. These usually have a round capacitor in them, not an oval. But let's get this guy out, see what it is, and change it. Somebody's little handiwork there. Okay, got a 35 by 5, pretty typical. I'll go get another one, we'll get it changed. Okay, so one of the troubles we always wind up with is that all the capacitors always wind up a different size. You know, manufacturers to make it. So you see that this bracket's too big. Well, actually, we can wrap that around, get it back in there on itself on a small one. Yeah, so we can get those. Okay. Help me understand, Derek says. Okay, so these aren't labeled on this capacitor, but Brownie's usually fan. You can look in here. Blue is to the compressor. The two yellows are commons. So we have them labeled on the new capacitor up here. We'll just pull these off. Put them in the corresponding on the new fan. Now on the new capacitors it's always labeled as hermetics, but that's for the compressor. And then the other one will be the two commons. And if any luck, we're going to plug this guy back in, and we should have air conditioning. Okay, so while we're in here, we'll check and make sure that we have the right amp load, amp draw on the motors. And in all these, they kindly tell us kind of about where they should be. There's compressor. This is lock rotor amp. This is a run load amp. The RLA, something like that. Run load amp. And this would be the fan. 0.5 for the fan, 11 for the compressor. So that's what we want to check and make sure we're not outside of those. So this is from the brown is from the capacitor. We want to check that. We want to check what's powering. Oops, not ohms. So 0.46, 0.45 for the fan. They want it under half. That's good. We'll check for compressor. 7.3. Now we have two sides to the compressor. It's 240 volt. This side should be a little higher, a little lower. Looks good. I don't recommend rolling around the cover with the power on, but just got to remember where you're sticking your fingers. You don't stick them where the electricity goes. Okay, so this could be a little tricky. I don't know how much we're going to get to see with my hands in the way, but of course pull the cover off. This is just a motor that operates a valve. One of the first things we want to do is isolate this. So we'll shut this guy off, and we have a zone of a valve over here we can... Whoa! Okay, and we want to lock this guy open. These have a manual lock on it, so we can lock it open. And then, if we're lucky, two screws here. These are on the Honeywell zone valves. And this exposes the valve part. And this one actually isn't that old, but she's got antifreeze in the system. And that wears a little harder on the parts. So we're going to take a little bucket here and get rid of what's in this section. We're actually set up well here to lose a very minimal amount of antifreeze. I mean, typically you don't find valves isolating this in a drain nearby. Usually you got to fight with them and drain half the house, but oops, so I dropped one, but not a big deal because they actually include them in the new one. So you want to watch when you do this. There's a rubber seal that sits around here. Sometimes it gets stuck in here, sometimes it sticks on this. But this is the ball and plate that does the actuation. Motor turns this guy. This one's a little sticky. So here's the new seal here, and I like to take faucet grease. This is a silicon-based lubricant versus Vaseline or something petroleum-based. This just gives a little sticky to it, and it won't degrade the rubber. Where a petroleum-based can degrade the rubber, and then it doesn't seal. But this will help hold it in this groove, so it stays in there nice and flat. And then we'll take the new ball and plate, and you can see as they've developed, they've kind of changed a little bit, but that's how I kind of tell how old one is by the newest designs. I gotta look here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so 2 holes up here, 1 hole here, 2 pegs, 1 peg, and they'll fit in there nice and easy. Now, 2 of the screws are like, oops. Well, help me understand. 2 screws, I don't know if you can see that. 2 screws have this shoulder, and they go in 2 different holes of this plate. And these other 2 are just a little bit different design, but they don't have that shoulder. Let's see if I can. They don't have the shoulder, but they do have a nub on the top to help align the new power head. Tighten them up. There probably is a torque spec, but I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing and not worry about it. Isn't that what Derek says? And then with the Vice Grip Garage advice, it's pretty good advice. Okay, so really here all we need to do is transfer the wires. But these 2 here are called end switch wires, and all these 2 do is operate the boiler. So when this is activated, this is what turns the boiler on and turns it off. These are just dry, it's a dry contract, so we got the power off anyway, which is something you should always do. So we're not too worried about getting this messed up. And so one of these is going to be, this is going to be a common from the boiler and a power from the boiler, so that it goes out to the Boilermate. And when the Boilermate calls for hot water, it sends the power back to this guy. So this one is power in, this is common, operates the motor. Looks more complicated than it is. But if you have an understanding of what's going on, so we can get this guy out of the way because we know where everything goes. You always want your loop to go with the direction the screw tightens. It helps to keep it from squeezing out, makes good contact. got a little extra here. So we'll clip some of that off. Make a new little loop in here. Okay, and then we're going to hook up these two power leads. This is actually just a dry terminal. If you look back here, right here, it's connected to nothing. So it's just a way to transfer from one wire to another, if you will, if that makes any sense. So what I'll do sometimes in this case when I'm doubling up wires is I'll take a small screwdriver and hold this here and squeeze this around so it grips around the screw. It's less likely to slip out that way while you're messing with yet another wire. Keep getting the end switch wires stuck in here. Here we go. Okay, so now we're back to where we were. We have a common power coming back from the Boilermate, and these two are just power. So this is power, just power passing on. And these two are what's going to do the actuation. Then we just need to hook up our end switch wires. There we go. Okay, so now we got end switch, power in and out, and a common for return. Let's get her mounted. Oh, that's right. We got to turn that one sideways, don't we? Two screws back in. And just double check. We're going to release this one now. The new ones always come locked in manual. This operates nice and slow and soft. Take it over here, you can see what I'm doing. This manual lever. Can I get you in there? And then there's a latch here. You can see maybe where it latches, it catches in there. Perfect. Okay. So, a little clunk. Boy, that's a stiff valve. A little clunk. Turn the power back on. Good to go. We should see this. There it goes. Okay, so while we're here, while we're here, we're going to take a check. There we go. We're going to check the water pressure, and the temperature isn't so concerning right now, but controls the inducer here that we don't oil. This is a sealed inducer motor. We don't have to worry about oiling it. We can pull this out and check the flame sensor. It's trying to light right now. There she goes.